I want to ask you something. How many security tools does your organization run right now? Take a second, actually. Think about it. SIEM, EDR, vulnerability scanner, firewalls, DLP, cloud, security posture, identity management, threat intelligence feeds. Now, here's the question that actually matters. Is your exposure shrinking? Because for most organizations, the honest answer is no. The stack keeps growing, the budget keeps growing, the reports get thicker, the dashboards get more detailed, and the exposure, the stuff that actually is visible to attackers right now, keeps accumulating. Not because the tools are bad, not because the team isn't trying, because adding controls and reducing exposure, not the same thing. And the security industry has spent 30 years pretending they are, but here's how it works. Something goes wrong, a breach makes headlines, a board gets nervous, an audit flags a gap, and the response almost every time is the same. Add a tool. There's a scanner for that. There's a platform for that. There's a vendor who will solve exactly that problem and 17 others you didn't know you had. And so the stack grows. Now, here's what no one tells you when you're buying a new tool. Every single control you add to your environment creates something new. New configuration to maintain, new integrations to secure, new alerts to tune, new agents deployed across systems, new credentials to manage, new attack surface introduced by the tool itself. Your security tool just became part of your attack surface. The control layer doesn't sit neatly on top of your environment. It becomes part of your environment, and like everything else in a living, breathing environment, it drifts. So now your team is spending its time managing the stack, tuning thresholds, chasing false positives, maintaining integrations that break when something upstream changes. This isn't wasted effort. It's real work. But it's effort spent on the instruments, not on the territory the instruments are supposed to be measuring. The gap gets more detailed. The territory grows faster. Here's what controls actually do. They redistribute attention. When you deploy a new tool, it creates a new stream of findings. Your team reviews them, closes the false positives, prioritizes the real one, and moves on. What the tool does not do, cannot do, is tell you what it isn't seeing. Every control has a detection surface, the thing it's positioned to observe. Outside that surface, your environment keeps changing without notice, without alerts, without findings. New assets appear, old assets accumulate, dependencies, access persists past its intended window, services start responding to requests they were never meant to receive. None of that generates an alert, none of that shows up on a dashboard because none of it falls within the scope of any control you deployed. And your team completely reasonably assumes that what isn't being flagged isn't a problem. That assumption is the source of most of what eventually becomes a serious incident. The absence of alerts is not the absence of risk. It's the absence of blind spots. And blind spots are not fixed by adding more tools within the same coverage model. They are fixed by questioning what your coverage model is missing entirely. So let me reframe the question. The question most security programs are asking is, how many controls do we have? The question that actually matters is what is exposed right now that none of our controls can see. Those are completely two different questions. The first one measures investment, the second one measures condition. A program that can answer the first but not the second is measuring its own effort, not its actual risk surface. Here's the thing about controls that makes this so hard to see and understand. Controls are built from known things, known threat patterns, defined rules, bounded scopes. They are inherently retrospective, designed for problems that were understood well enough to build detection for. Exposure doesn't care about that. Exposure is a present condition. It exists whether any control is positioned to observe it or not. Your organization can have a mature, well-funded control stack and still carry significant exposure, not because the controls are failing, because exposure accumulates in the gaps that no control was ever positioned to cover. The subdomain that outlived its purpose, the cloud resource deployed outside the normal provisioning process, the service that became reachable when a configuration changed and no one noticed, none of those generated alerts. All of them exist. More controls doesn't reduce exposure. Better awareness of what actually exists does. Knowing what's reachable, how long it's been visible, whether anyone is positioned to act on it before time removes that option. A security program built on controls is asking, are our instruments working? A security program built on exposure awareness is asking, what is the actual condition of our environment right now? The second question is harder. It requires a different model, a different definition of what security is actually for. But it is the only question that leads to shorter windows. The next video is where we start measuring what actually matters, not whether something is exposed, but how long it has been. If this framing is useful, share it with someone managing the security program.